Broadcasting live from the Temple of Enlightenment, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody, to Tap Tap Concede. Graham here as usual.
James
is here as well. And joining us this week is Alex.
Hi.
And our buddy Serge.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about some Born of the Godsy stuff. I have some limited sort of impressions from what limited amount of limited I have played, and we're gonna
limited limitations,
and talk about some other stuff as well. Real quick, I wanted to say apologies for the card images in last week's episode. Originally, I wasn't going to do them because I wanted to get the episode out as quickly as possible. And there was a lot of cards because it was just James and I cracking packs for the whole episode. And then I watched it and it was really crap. And so I was like, oh, fine, I'll just go in and do them all manually. But I forgot to apply the resize thing to them. So they're all really, really big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all full height to the screen instead of like nicely placed sort of in this region.
Now, is it crap because they didn't see the cards, or is it crap because we were not good?
No, it was bad because the cards weren't there.
Well,
like
I didn't
the
say
video
it.
was just it's like when we're referring to the cards.
It's nice to have that
On the
I
mean, on the audio version, it's you don't have that option, but on the audio version we'd like.
I understand that our new computer is on its way.
It is,
which means
it'll be here tomorrow.
Which means next episode we should be back in a position with a computer that can actually
automatically
put them up as we talk.
Yeah.
The show really needs a producer.
It does.
It needs an extra person off camera too.
We did that once. That was really good. Actually,
Yeah.
we should
actually look into it.
Yeah.
All right.
But first we're going to start with
A crack
pack. Now we did we did Born of the Gods. We did the relevant format last week, so we're back to the weird stuff. Alex looks like he wants to roll
it's mine.
The D20 of power.
I'm gonna roll it. All right. What do we want to roll? I want to roll a 1 because I want to open that pack of Future Sight.
Yeah.
Oh, Future Sight.
Let's see what we got. If
One
it's
time,
too
no
high,
whammy.
it might be a reroll. Seven.
Damn it.
2,
Seven.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
One time,
What
no home
is
runs?
this?
It looks like
No. What?
Portal.
Whoa!
but not Three Kingdoms.
No, just Portal.
Reminds me
Get
of my
ready for
youth.
some weird stuff.
Old
man,
school
we-
original Portal.
If we get one of the Manowar with the octopus art or the jellyfish art, I will totally arm wrestle somebody for all of it.
All right.
Yeah,
I see
I'll fight you.
Alex's.
I don't
will
even play
actually
blue,
fight
and I
me.
want that card.
So
No.
Portal was released in '97, and this was the learn how to play game. Like this was like the teach people how to play
yeah,
Magic.
like no word of a
Oh,
lie.
okay.
The literally casual. version.
And you bought it as a starter because this says starter set required to play, right? And you bought the thing. It had 2 decks in it in a little box, and you bought it, and it was 2 constructed decks that you would learn how to play the game with, and they like super simplified stuff. Like there were there were no instants, but there were certain sorceries
That you
that
could
told
play-
you to cast as an instance.
They also changed the font on a lot of cards.
Yeah, on all the cards.
Yeah,
It's super
and-
weird.
And
It's really verbose.
Blocky and awkward. I just remember Archangel, for some reason from my childhood. Archangel sticks out, and she's got the art does not cause her to tap. And you're like,
And
whoa.
they had like the little dagger by the power,
Yeah,
and
the
the shield,
power
and the shield by the
dagger
toughness.
and shield.
Oh,
And
man.
weirdly, it's funny because you mentioned that it was sort of blocky because blocking was not a thing in Portal. It was
Pardon?
Intercepting.
intercepting.
Yeah.
They changed the word to intercepting for no reason because that's
Surge.
more simplified.
Jungle Lion can't intercept.
All right. Let's look at these cards.
All right.
I'm so excited.
Theft of Dreams. It is a sorcery. For 2 and a blue, for each tapped creature your opponent has in play, you draw a card.
Doesn't seem so bad.
They just put that on Tameo.
Yeah, it's just.
You gotta love when planeswalker abilities are just old cards.
Also, I gotta say,
yeah.
a lot of these cards are really dirtily, but the artwork in this set was pretty good.
May I?
Yeah, go for it.
Next up, we have a deck
yeah.
a deck building tip.
Woo!
This is
Second card in the pack?
This is how to build the deck Card Domination. To build the Card Domination deck, put together 7 islands, 7 swamps, 10 to 11 blue cards, and 10 to 11 black cards for a total of 35 cards. Leave all other cards out. About 12 to 14 of the cards should be summon creatures. Include cards that make your opponent discard and let you draw cards, such as Mind Rot and Cloak of Feathers. General deck building tip, most good decks have cards with costs that vary from low to high, so you can play cheap cards early and more powerful cards, which are more expensive, later on.
Oh man, I want that.
Wow, actually, this is the back
It's
of
not
this.
even that bad.
The
but-
key to this deck is the, quote, card advantage it can give you over your opponent. This means that either by drawing extra cards or making your opponent discard, you have access to more cards than your opponent. Cards represent a player's options throughout the game, so the more cards you have in your hand, the more options you have.
Wow.
So this went from like comically bad to actually, really
just
legit.
like, but
That's a very
the
relevant
first side's like,
tip.
here, honey, here's how it works, and then it's just like, yeah, but on the real side, here's how card advantage works, described accurately.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of sweet.
I dig it. All right, next up we have...
Card domination.
Wait, does that count as one of the
swamp.
15 in our? Oh, and then it's lands.
Let me see.
I love the artwork.
Let me actually count. We got
Okay.
so it said it's 15. It's a 15 card. Where'd the wrapper go? Here it is. It's, 15 cards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That is a pretty cool
6,
looking
7,
swamp.
8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, no. So the card domination tip card does not count as one of the
Oh,
15.
good.
But
So-
the swamp did.
The swamp did, as does this island.
Whoa. Oh, so you've got the what you need to build a blue
Yeah, are
black
these
deck.
like seeded boosters? This is interesting.
might
It
be.
might be.
Yeah, I think they are.
Oh, next up is a Serpent Warrior. He is a 3/3 for 2 and a black. It's a 3/3 for 3. When Serpent Warrior comes into play from your hand, you lose 3 life.
Oh.
Okay.
Reminder text: the person who plays Serpent Warrior loses the life.
Good to know.
I just want to point out that this snake has abs and a batleth.
Holy wow! You are not kidding. That is exactly what is on this card. It's a Cobra Man with abs and a bat lift.
So this must be seeded because these cards are all on theme. Check this out.
It's a beautiful land.
Are you familiar with this? With this card? Mind Knives.
Oh man,
Hey, Mind Knives.
this has
Mind
sweet
knives.
art.
No, I've never heard of Mind Knives.
1 and a black. Your opponent discards a card at random.
Oh.
It's not even that bad. But like, look at this guy. He's having a bad time. It's like, the mind knives
They
are
look
in
like
my
they stabbed him in the
brain.
head with a fork.
Yep.
Okay.
Deja Vu. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Return any 1 sorcery card from your discard pile to your hand.
Okay.
Symbol of Unsummoning. This actually seems pretty all right. Symbol of Unsummoning. Sorcery. 2, except it's a sorcery, but still. 2 and a blue. Return any 1 creature to its owner's hand. You draw a card.
Yeah. That
Oh,
card's-
so it's what's it called?
I don't know.
Repulse?
Is that?
It's like bad repulse.
I mean, it's super bad
Yeah.
because it's a sorcery.
Well, most of those are instant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
the same card, only instant as repulse.
Yeah.
It's like bounce a creature, draw a card.
For the same cost.
even at
Yeah.
sorcery, that card's pretty good.
yeah, it's
art is so good.
right.
Like I would play that card.
This is a
today.
really pretty
I'll
set.
play that art just for the. Just
Oh
for,
god,
I'd
it's
play
a
that card just for
like
the art.
what's going on here? There's a giant man with huge. His fingers are on fire.
Neat.
What is going
Looks like he's
on?
eating a Naruto as well, or
Neat.
whatever that little swirly thing is.
The guy's just like, and I'm ahead. Have you to
All right.
go home.
They're all 3 drops. This is very interesting.
Dread Charge. Sorcery for 3 and a black. This turn, your black creatures can't be intercepted. Or, sorry. This turn, your black creatures can be intercepted only by other black creatures.
Sure.
It's not.
actually better than
It's better than fear.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
okay.
because they can't be blocked by artifact creatures.
Assuming there were artifact creatures in this block.
That's actually a really good point.
I imagine.
There may not be artifact
may not have
creatures.
Should I check? Do we care?
Eh.
Okay.
Wow, this is you came to the wrong neighborhood.
All right, so we've had Symbol of Unsummoning. What about Command of Unsummoning? So it's 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Play Command of Unsummoning only after you're attacked before you declare interceptors.
Okay.
Return any 1 or 2 attacking creatures to their owner's hand.
Wow,
Okay.
it's not bad.
That seems
How
okay.
much is it?
For 3?
So
Wow.
it's an instant that you can only play
So cool.
after attackers before blockers, but you get to bounce 2 guys
Yeah.
for 3.
Yeah, that seems
And
pretty
it's a
good.
Phil Foglio.
Is
art.
that what was Whiplash Trap from Zendikar?
Whiplash Trap was.
I know the
if two
hard cast was 3 blue.
White. It was a single blue.
Really?
I don't know why I said white. It was a single blue.
Yeah.
If 2 or more creatures come into play, a single blue is Whiplash Trap.
Right. The white trap is if you're being attacked, and that's only by 1 creature, and that's the exile one. So, it's interesting. That doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah.
This seems fine.
Yeah.
I love the art.
This seems really good.
You know what doesn't seem really good?
Ooh.
Natural Spring.
Okay.
3 green.
Oh, there are green cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gain 8 life.
Okay, moving on.
Dear
God.
Can you make the noise, Alex?
Well, the text is centered, so that's kind of cool.
Good job.
It's centered the text like the
Wrath of God?
yeah, like on Wrath, like destroy all creatures, or like murder is destroy target creature. This is just, you gain 8 life.
Just
okay.
drop the mic.
Spotted Griffin. 3 and a white for a 2/3 with flying.
Yep, that's
It's a thing.
a draft
Are
card.
all griffins white?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There might be some blue ones. I think in general they're white.
Okay.
Lizard Warrior. 3
Sweet.
3 and a red for a 4/2.
Oh,
No, that's it.
just vanilla 4/2.
This is really funny because they have this line separating the flavor text and
From the rules text,
The rules
but there's
text.
no
But there's
rules
no
text.
rules text, so there's this big blank spot above it.
Nice. Okay.
Well, it'll be really easy for new players.
They also they really made certain that you know what text is the rules text and what text is the flavor text.
But it says when this creature comes into play, I get to
Mind knives.
dodge the unnerving knife. One must be free of thought.
That's so good against the unnerving knife meta. Cloak of Feathers. It is a single blue sorcery. Any 1 creature gains flying until end of turn. You draw a card.
It's not too bad. That's actually better than.
It's better than jump.
Yeah, it's way better than jump. It's like sproing. It's slower, but it's at least you replace yourself.
Didn't we just talk about Cloak of Feathers?
Yeah, it was mentioned on the card domination.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
The
mentioned on the
card
tip.
domination deck.
Gorilla Warrior.
Sweet.
2
Okay.
and a green for a 3/2.
Oh, 3/2.
For a 3/2.
Okay.
2 and a green for a 3/2 seems fine in draft.
Yeah.
If you're looking to
Whoa!
draft.
Look at
Vanilla?
his big
Another vanilla.
club.
Not amazing in constructed,
They
but
were
whatever.
formidable even before they learned the use of weapons.
I don't think there's a rare, or if it is, it certainly isn't any of these.
Well, is there one more left?
There is.
Oh, what is it?
Skeletal Crocodile. The flavor text is, the less flesh there is, the more teeth there seem to be. Well, that's actually totally in flavor with his stats, too. So he's 3 and a black for a 5/1.
What?
Lots of teeth, not a lot of flesh.
Wow. That's really aggressive.
Yeah. Wasn't there a what was the one from I want to say Dark Ascension?
There's something like that too. Yeah.
Skeletal snake or zombie snake or something?
Yeah.
Was it just a 5/1 or something, or
think
did
it was.
it did it
Sounds
do
right.
something else?
No, I think it was just a
don't
5/1
know.
for 4 or something like that. Maybe for 5. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I look it up.
Interesting cards
What did we think it was called?
back in Portal.
Skeletal snake.
Zombie. No,
Zombie
it was
snake? It
zombie
was a
snake.
zombie.
It was definitely a zombie snake. Those were its creature types. But I don't recall
Oh,
what it was called.
this Cloak of Feathers was drawn by Rebecca Guay.
Did she do the Cloak of Leeches in Kamigawa as well?
Recently discovered that her name is actually pronounced Rebecca Gay.
Rebecca Gay. Huh.
Actually, this is
Crazy.
the
Skeletal Crocodile?
is exactly the same card.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Rotting Fen Snake.
Rotting Fen Snake. Thank
was
you.
3 and a black for 5/1.
Hey, there you go.
It is that.
How about flavor text?
No.
No. Oh,
Flavor
okay.
text on Rotting Fen Snake with its venom sacs are long gone, but its crushing strength is somehow greater than ever.
It's well,
I
at
like
least
this
I'm
flavor
not
text better.
poisoned.
I like the flavor text on Skeletal Crocodile better.
Yeah, that one's good. All right.
What do you think,
So-
Alex? You think Dread Charge going to get into your mono black deck?
Nope.
But you can only be blocked by other black creatures.
Nah, dog. Mind knives.
Yeah, clearly my
Mind
knives is a secret tech.
2 mana, no information, discard spell.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really bad him to Turak.
Really bad him.
Strangely enough, because it's only 1 card difference. You know?
Yeah, but it's card advantage. This 1-for-1's that 2-for-1's.
Yeah.
Anytime you 2-for-1, you're
Yeah,
just
2-for-1s in the most
I'll tell
savage,
you all about
unfair
it.
way
I'll tell you all about the card
possible.
advantage right there. So, I'm glad you're here, actually, Serge, because I wanted to talk about a fascinating interaction I encountered while playing a Born of the Gods draft. I'm a big fan of the triple whatever drafts that they run, like just around when the set comes out.
Okay.
On Magic Online, like right now they have the triple Born of the Gods, right?
Okay.
Where you just draft with 3 Born of the
get
Gods
more
packs,
cards, yeah.
and it's not designed to be drafted that way, but it's Magic Online, so they can do it, and it doesn't matter. And I don't know. I think that those formats, because I did triple Dragon's Maze as well, I think they get an unusual amount of hate from like serious players because they're not a real, they're quote not a real format.
Sorry, what?
Well, it's not even real. It's relevant format, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When they say not a real format, they mean it's not relevant, right?
I can't grind this through the GP, man.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's the same entry fee. You get the same number of. You open the same amount of packs.
Yeah.
You get the same prizes. It's still an 8-4.
Yeah.
It's not real, man.
I just don't. I don't see the problem with drafting them if you want to.
There's no problem with drafting them.
I see I see people online basically crapping all over them, being like, they're not a real format. Why would you waste your time with that? And it's like, I guess if you want to practice, if you want to get as much practice in with the actual relevant format as possible, but
I was gonna say,
there's no reason to tell other people they shouldn't because it's not real.
Dude, if you're not like playing to win, why are you playing? Like, I don't understand why you would play this game to not win.
I'm still playing to win. I won that 8-4.
Yeah. The one thing I might be able to relate to is if you're screwing up queue times. Because if there's 2 drafts about to fire and you have 7 people in 3-pack Born of the God and 7 people in this other one, neither one is going to fire. Whereas if they only offered one option,
I guess.
That's really digging.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
deep
think
there.
that these people just hate happiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
True
No, do what
facts.
makes you happy.
Exactly.
Cool. So you're going triple Born of the God and just like taking it down.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
So I encountered a fascinating interaction with the Perplexing Chimera. Now, are you still level 1? Have you made your level 2? I can't remember.
I'm just level 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna encounter a lot of
Oh, good.
BS from this card.
Is this just on the spot stump the judge?
So, well, no, like, are you familiar with this card at all?
Perplex? No.
Okay. 4 and a blue for a 3/3.
Okay.
Okay. It's an enchantment creature chimera. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of Perplexing Chimera
yeah. I remember
and
that guy.
spell.
Okay.
You may choose new targets for the spell.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
holy shit.
in its simplest, it's just, I have Perplexing Chimera, you cast a creature. While the creature's on the stack, I go, no,
Yoink.
you have the Perplexing Chimera, and I get the creature, and it enters the battlefield under my control.
Yeah.
I get any ETB effects, and that's it. But now you have the Chimera, and if I cast something, you can make that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With spells, it's a little more complex.
Okay.
So let me...
Maybe on Moto. I imagine on paper, because you can shortcut it, it gets a little bit easier. But with Moto asking...
Shortcutting it in person, I think, will be helpful.
Or
but
Magic Online.
Yeah,
We
Magic
don't call
Online
it
is
that.
super... whatever.
Well, 'cause
Magic
that's for
Online is
permission everywhere, right?
super confusing. So let me explain
Okay, yeah,
an
please.
interaction that happened in one of these games. Let me craft a board state for you.
All right.
My opponent has
Mind's eye.
the Satyr Fire Dancer, which is a 1/1 for 1 and a red that whenever you deal, whenever an instant or sorcery
cast
you
a spell,
control
it's the rare, yeah.
would deal damage to an opponent, you can deal that much damage to a target creature they control.
Okay.
My opponent has that, the Perplexing Chimera, and the Sphinx's Disciple, which is a 2/2 flyer for 5 that whenever it untaps, you draw a card.
Okay.
And it is currently tapped because he has attacked me with it.
Okay.
On my side of the table, I have a 4/4 Snake of the Golden Grove and the Acroan Conscriptors. They are a 3/2 for 5 with Heroic that whenever you target them with a spell or ability, you get a free act of treason.
Yeah. Okay. I can see how this is starting to get really, really complicated.
So, I cast Might and Mischief, which is for 4 and a green sorcery, up to 2 target creatures each get +4/+4 until end of turn. And I target my Acroan Conscriptors and my opponent's Sphinx's Disciple, because the wording on all those steal your creature effects
so you get a free draw
is
off it.
you steal the creature and then untap it. So I get to steal his Sphinx's Disciple,
Oh, yeah.
untap it, draw a card, and then hit him in the air for 6 is my plan.
Right.
Right? So I cast that. That's on the stack, and the Acroan Conscriptor's ability immediately goes on the stack. And then the Perplexing Chimera trigger goes on the stack.
God.
So my opponent thinks for a little bit and then decides that he will trade me possession of the Perplexing Chimera for control of Might and Mischief.
Okay.
It's a little unclear at this point, maybe if I'd been reading the log better, what he did. But regardless, he ended up still targeting his Sphinx's Disciple and something else. I'm not entirely sure what else he cast. I don't think it actually showed up.
Okay.
So that trigger resolves. The Perplexing Chimera trigger resolves.
Okay.
And he picks his targets. Then, in response to the Acroan Conscriptor's trigger, he casts Searing Blood, which is deal 2 damage to target creature, and if that creature dies, deal 3 damage to that creature's controller. So he casts Searing Blood on my Acroan Conscriptors. But now I have the Perplexing Chimera.
Okay.
So I give him back the Chimera, I take Searing Blood, and kill his Fire Drinker Satyr. Or sorry, Satyr Fire Dancer.
Yeah.
And deal 3 damage to him instead of him killing my guy, dealing 3 to me and 3 to one of my other creatures.
Yeah.
So
And then we're still waiting to resolve.
yeah.
bunch
So,
of triggers.
so then
Other triggers.
then the triggers all basically resolve. I don't know what else he targeted with Might and Mischief. I think he only targeted
Probably
his
just
Sphinx's
one
Disciple.
thing. Yeah, it's better
which I
for
still
him.
get because even if you
Wait. Okay, but yeah.
even if he had killed the conscriptors, that triggered ability is
Yep.
still on the stack.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he didn't kill the conscriptor. So I get his disciple, it untaps, I draw a card, I hit him in the air for 6, and pass the turn, and he gets his guy back. So at the end of it, he still has a tapped Sphinx's Disciple, and he still has his Chimera. But he lost his Satyr, he took 3 from the Searing Blood, 6 from the Sphinx's Disciple, and I still have all my guys.
Yeah.
It was very confusing.
Yeah. I love that card.
On my next turn, I'm like,
God.
you know what? Screw it. I attack with the Acroan Conscriptors, and he snap blocks with the Perplexing Chimera, and they trade. And I'm like, interesting. So I open up the chat and I ask him, did you make that trade more so because A, you wanted to get rid of the conscriptors,
Yeah.
or B, you just didn't want to deal with the Chimera anymore? And he said, it was too perplexing.
Yeah.
He said,
I can't. Yeah.
yeah, he absolutely said, no joke. This is a direct quote. No joke. I can't deal with that. I don't want to screw it up again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
It is super weird. I saw someone make a similar play on Kenji Numa the Nummy's stream.
Yeah.
Not an hour before we recorded this, with the Chimera trigger still on the stack. His opponent, like, after giving it to him, his opponent cast a Retraction Helix, and then Kenji's like, "Okay, have your Chimera back. Give me the Retraction Helix, or the Reflection Helix, or whatever it is."
I think it's retraction.
Yeah.
Man, that
and
card is going to
it's
be
so
so fun
confusing.
in Commander.
In Commander, it's going to be stupid.
It's gonna be fantastic.
I saw an anecdotal comment on the Magic subreddit of someone saying that they got a no. This was in the chat actually. They got judge called to at their F&M, went over to a table, and someone had a Progenitor Mimic, and there were 5 like hand-drawn Perplexing Chimera tokens
Oh, this guy's
on either side of the table, because he was just
man.
Progenitor Mimicking Perplexing Chimeras all day long.
That's kind of stupid.
I was just like, you get this, and you get this, and I get this, and I get da-da-da-da-da-da.
So it's not actually a rules nightmare.
No.
It's just a play nightmare.
You need to know what it does. You need
Yeah.
to. I don't think. I think the biggest problem is just you need to remember. Like, it's a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
I think it's probably worth running, but you need to remember, as soon as you give it to your opponent, they can do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot.
It was super weird.
I mean, yeah, on the one hand, Wizards clearly has moved away from making the game more beginner friendly when you throw that in there. But on the other hand, you now have this really, quote, like, I'm going to do air quotes, fun card that's going to teach people how the stack works.
It's like, what?
I'm super glad that card
Yeah,
exists.
because you're like, hold on, a spell goes on the stack, this ability goes above it, and then we change things?
Yeah.
but what happens to my spell? And then I come up, I'm like, hi guys, welcome to the stack.
Settle in, children.
Yeah. Let me tell you, welcome to the magical land.
Let me tell you a story about triggered abilities.
So
Oh
the
my
stack is
goodness.
kind of like your mother's kitchen. And they're like, what?
It's like if she has 5 pies and she wants to arrange them vertically, which one do you eat first?
My analogy has always been dishes. The stack
Yeah.
is like dishes. So what happens is you've got dirty dishes. You put your dirty dish in the bottom of the sink. When you clean it, you take it out. And then it's like if more people show up with more dirty dishes, so a spell, and then a spell, and then a spell, and a spell, well, you start cleaning. You just clean off the top, and then you resolve in that order.
Yeah, and you're trying to put your dish in the sink, and then some dirty, rotten a-hole like jumps the queue and puts it in before you.
That's fine. You just deal with it first. And then that's really good for people because people often forget that when you start resolving the stack, everybody actually gets priority again before then.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just go, okay, all unwinds and you're clear again. You can be like,
You can
counterspell, counterspell, counterspell. Okay. Counterspell. And
You can take a dish off and have another one put back on right away. Yeah.
At any point, or just like, okay, let's resolve 2 of them, and then I have effects again. I don't know whenever that's relevant. You normally just pile all that stuff on.
And then you get into layers.
no,
No.
we're not talking layers.
No.
I want to buy humility, and I've had to start doing all the research. This is like the classic card that gives
This
everybody
is just
nightmares.
like rules broken.
We were hearing something the other day. I'm not going to ask you to explain this right now, but the interaction between the enchantment creatures, bestowed or not,
Yeah.
and opalescence.
Yeah, actually, this came up coincidentally. Oh, did you talk about it
I
after?
think I asked you about it because we had talked
Yeah,
about it. It's
well,
like,
I want to do opalescence and humility. It's really easy. Opalescence just wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just overwrites it. So those guys are fine. It's more complicated with the gods.
yep.
Do you want to just quickly clarify what humility and opalescence do? These are major corner case weird cards.
This is the classic strangest card combination that Magic has ever done. So humility is a 4-mana enchantment that says every creature loses all abilities and becomes a 1/1. It just
All right.
done.
Yeah,
State based.
with no creature type, right?
With no, it's just a 1/1 with no abilities.
That seems perfectly reasonable to
It's
understand.
pretty powerful, and that
Yeah.
gets a little bit complicated because people are like, oh, what about when a creature comes into play?
No, it's
does
a
it have
1/1.
Does it have an ETB effect? Does it enter the battlefield? And you're like, no. And this is where layers are important.
Yeah.
Because if this is the game state and this is where state-based stuff checks,
Right.
you're like, my acidic slime, which is a 5/5 that could kill it, comes into play, and then before it enters the battlefield, it's like, I'm a 1/1. and then it just never gets to do anything. So it just
Right.
hoses all the creature decks.
So it's like I'll pay 5 mana for this 1/1 ooze.
Yeah. And then Opalescence is a 4-mana enchantment that says all other enchantments are now creatures with power and toughness equal to their casting cost.
Right.
But then Humility says, well, no,
They're 1/1.
you're all 1/1s with no abilities. But then Opalescence is like,
did I stutter or something?
I said you get power and toughness equal to your thing. So you have 2 effects, and it's very rare for 2 effects to straight conflict because they're both trying to set the power and toughness. So something like a buff effect and a curse effect can counter each other. So say you have Bad Moon, all black creatures get +1/+1. And then you have Knight of Honden's Reach, all creatures get -1/-1. They just straight cancel.
Right.
And you could get crazy and look at the layers and stuff like that. But by the time it's actually relevant, they just cross each other out. But when you're actually trying to set the power and toughness of things, it gets a little bit more complicated. And that's where you have to start getting into timestamps.
Oh
And
my
this is
God.
where I've just been told as a level 1, don't worry about it. and I've kind of just been okay with that. I mean, the complicated answer is whichever way they came in, kind of like the stack,
Yeah.
Determines.
So
determines which one overrides it.
So, ignoring humility, because that's a hellscape. If you have opalescence in play, right, and then you have just an example from Theros, an Observant Elsiad, right? It's a 2/2 with vigilance for 3 mana. Is it a 3/3 with vigilance?
It's now a 3/3.
Okay.
It just
That's easy.
Yeah, that one's easy.
So all the enchantment creatures, their only change is that their power and toughness is now their
set to that.
Their
Yeah,
CMC.
I'm pretty sure on that one, but I bet you
I think that makes all of them better.
yeah,
Yes.
I think it does.
It would make all
some guy might in the chat just be like, "Yeah, Serge is talking out of his ass." He doesn't know anything. and that's fair. But when I was doing some of the research on that before, that seemed to be the one I'm not going to try and answer is if you have a god, because the gods, once again, if you have devotion, it changes, and then it
Yeah,
has its own rules on it. So even though it's an enchantment and it's trying to tell you this stuff, it's saying, no, I'm not a creature.
Right.
Until I have this many
I have
box tops.
Yeah.
So
Weird.
okay, I have a weird corner case that's been bugging me for a while.
Okay.
Maybe this is a little beyond your ken, and I appreciate if it is, but so we know that if you have enough devotion that your god is a creature,
Yeah.
and you attack with the god,
Yeah.
and then someone kills one of your other creatures such that they lose devotion.
Yeah.
They are still tapped, but they are immediately removed from combat.
Correct.
And because they are no longer a creature; they're just not in combat.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember during the limited resources rules episode for Theros, Judge Joe Bono was like, "Now this might be different if there's a flicker effect, but there are no flicker effects in Theros Limited."
Uh-oh.
There is one. It's Triad of the Fates. You pay one colorless and tap it to put a fate counter on a creature, and then you can pay. I believe you can pay one black and exile a creature with a fate counter, and it just goes away, and its controller draws 2 cards. Or you can pay one white, and the creature. The ability is exile target creature, then return it to play under its owner's control.
Okay.
Ruh-roh.
So my question is there time in there with all the layers and whatever where the god actually sees it no longer has devotion and stops being a creature? Or does it happen so fast with how all the abilities stack that the god doesn't notice?
I would say, without researching, the god doesn't notice, just because when state-based effects are checked. Mm-hmm. So that's not a triggered ability. That's a
Right.
state-based ability. I'm guessing. I don't have the card in front
I'll bring
of
up
me to
I'll bring
read
up Triad of the Fates, yeah.
it. Well, not try to the fates. You have to bring up the god.
Okay.
So if it's a triggered ability, it'll say when such and such happens, this happens.
Well, we can
but
see.
If a devotion just says,
Well, the devotion says
if a condition is met, this is true.
as long as your devotion to
Yeah.
whatever is less than
So then
whatever.
that'll be state based. So in that case, I don't think it'll check, because what happens is that checks when state based things are checked. So that'll happen anytime the stack is not empty, but whenever a player would get priority. Before a player gets priority, state based things are checked. So like, are you dead? What do any creatures die right now? You know, all that stuff is state based. So you have your creature in play, it flickers, so it's there and then it's gone. But in the middle of spell resolution, the game never checks.
Right.
So the whole time, nothing pauses. Your guy goes away and then he comes back. And then when you start, your guy's a god. Halfway through spell resolution, nothing checks. He's still a god. He'll come back. So that should be fine.
So Gary and Erebos are running into combat, and Gary hiccups, and Erebos is like, "What was that? You okay?" And Gary's like, "No, I don't know. I blinked and something weird happened. I don't know what's going on."
Like, why do we have 4 more life?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, and Erebos is like, "All right, I'm gonna keep bashing this guy."
Yeah,
So
that should be
weird.
fine. So a even trickier corner case.
Oh no!
I know. I'm going to turn the ball on you now.
All right.
Oh, if I could remember an example of that. I guess we can do it without actual real cards. There's a scarecrow
Okay.
that has a really weird ability, and it's basically like, when it comes into play, choose a color.
Oh, this painter's servant? No,
Not
no.
Painter's Servant.
It's what's it called?
And it says at any point, if you do not control a permanent of that color, sacrifice it. So that's pretty straightforward. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And then you have something like Metamorphosis, or some type of effect where you sacrifice a creature and then reveal cards off the top of your library, or you do Transmute Artifact or Tinker or something. You blow up your card.
Oh, I was thinking of painter's servant, but
Yeah, Painter's Servant's awesome, but there's a different scarecrow that does that.
Okay.
And then so what happens is you'll either search your library or you'll flip through your library and then turn the sacrificed thing into a permanent of the exact same color. What happens to your guy?
What?
Does that make sense? Did I do a good job
I
of
think so.
explaining that?
I think
So you
you
have a
did.
guy
I
who
just
says-
have
So
have no idea.
Yeah. So you have a guy who says at any point, if you control a permanent of not the same color, and then you blink that red guy, which is what you're doing effectively. It's the same question, but instead
here we
of
go.
state-based, it's a triggered ability.
Lurebound Scarecrow. As Lurebound Scarecrow enters the battlefield, choose a color. When you control no permanents of the chosen color, sacrifice Lurebound Scarecrow.
What is he?
So that's fairly similar to the devotion question, except that's a triggered ability instead of a state-based ability.
Right, because this is when.
Yeah. So what
Because
happens is
triggered abilities start with when, if, or whenever.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Something like
or
that.
at. Sorry.
Yeah, there's condition is met, do something. So,
Not whenever. Whenever is something else, I think. I ignore that last sentence I just said. Amnesia dust.
What?
Continue.
wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. You were saying.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense like devotion, right? You
Yeah.
have a thing. Now, what happens is, even though, like our blink example, even better, you just blink the red thing. It leaves battlefield for a bit, it comes back. Now, if that was state-based, Scarecrow is like, hey, what happened, guys? Like, oh, nothing, you're still there. But what happens, triggers happen anytime a condition is met, even if the game state doesn't check. It just says trigger. And as soon as somebody would get priority, the trigger just gets put on the stack.
It's like, see ya.
Yeah. So that your Scarecrow's hanging out, the red guy disappears, the Scarecrow's like, we're cool, right? And the stack's like, nope. And then you just sacrifice it. He's like, but weren't you there the whole time?
But I was a real boy.
Yeah. And that's a slight difference where things get
Weird.
tricky there. Fantastic stuff with cards that do multiple things in order. So smallpox, sacrifice a land, discard a card, sacrifice a creature, lose a life. Or, pardon me if the order's slightly reversed and stuff like that. You can actually create weird triggers halfway through. So say you discard a card and the card now has a graveyard ability if a creature dies. So say you discard Bridge from Below. Whenever a creature dies, put a zombie into play. Whenever a creature of yours dies, exile it. You can actually start with no Bridge from Below, cast Smallpox, pitch it on Smallpox. It's now in the graveyard when the time comes for the sacrifice creature to go, and then trigger off of that.
Before smallpox is finished resolving.
Before it's even finished resolving.
Wow, that's
and then you're like, that's really weird. Where does that go? So like all these weird when
That
things.
is pretty bizarre because like smallpox does do 4 things.
Yeah, but you it's very important that you always resolve them in order. So sometimes people just be like, oh, okay, blah, and then throw it all in the graveyard. Yeah, and then
Go down the laundry list.
it's really tricky. It sometimes it's very simple. It's like literally read what the card says.
Yeah.
And then
Unless it's old.
yeah, but often that's the simplest thing. You're like, what do we do right
After
Yeah, I
you're
was gonna say,
attacked, but
don't
before you
shuffle
declare
after you
interceptors.
impulse. It's very
now?
important
Yeah,
you don't
the
do that.
classic one on fun stuff like
Oh
that.
boy.
I tangented. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's fine. I love just talking about stuff.
Born of the gods.
So
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
James,
Yeah,
how's it going?
that's okay.
He's just crying.
How much Born of the Gods Limited have you had a chance to play?
Some. I've played
I know you've played a couple sealeds.
2 sealeds and 3 drafts.
How'd those go?
Sealed number 1, I went 2-2. Sealed number 2, I went 3-1. Draft number 1, I went 2-1, 2-1, 3-0.
Oh yeah.
No, wait, 2-1, 1-2, 3-0.
Oh.
So how are you liking the format so far?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
I think it's pretty cool. I think we talked about it last week where
It's a
we agreed it was
fleshing
a
than
fleshing out
than
rather
building
than
up.
Yeah, it was a brand. So it feels very familiar, which I'm okay with.
I think it's great.
It's got enough of a change that it refreshes what was the Triple Theros, which was I think getting a little stale, just because I have played it as much as I have. And there was just enough change with this Born of the Gods pack that it definitely revitalizes it. I guess there's probably just off the top of my head, I can see right there. Fall of the Hammer is insane. It is absolutely
familiar with this one, Serge?
bonkers card.
Yeah. So this is the 1 in a red. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature.
So it's
One-sided fight at instant speed for 2.
for 2. It's at common.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Probably the best
it
removal
is the
in
best
the set.
removal in the set. Yeah, easily the best removal
Especially
in
if
the
one
set.
of you guys has Death Touch, you just be like, I'll ping you. I'll
Yeah, well, something
ping
like that
you.
with like the Scorpion or
Baleful Eidolon or...
it's just absolutely bonkers.
Reminds me of the Fight Bear from AVR.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
you could
Fight
fight
Bear.
Death Touch guys every day.
Yeah.
Fight bears.
A card that I was talking to you about the other day is Painseer,
Yeah.
which I've had a chance to play with now twice. And it's a card that it's fine, and it's a 2/2 for 2. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to, and your deck needs 2/2s for 2. But it's a 2/2 for 2 that could do so much more, and you're always sad when it can't do it.
I think, but
That's my problem.
So, everyone's like, oh, it's a worse Bob.
don't
whatever.
compare it to Bob.
Yeah, it's not worth comparing to Dark Confidant.
Not at all.
I think it's really good just because it's solid, right? Like it is a 2 for 2, which you will run in a deck all the time in limited.
Yep.
And if you can attack with it, then you're getting a really not insignificant upside.
Yes.
There's a lot of fun ways to force creatures to tap too, like retraction helix and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just go ahead.
Yeah, I've been testing it in Highlander, and it's been performing better than I expected actually. Because it's a constructed format. I can play removal spells, so it's like I'm getting through with him and then drawing cards when he untaps. It also has weird interactions. I haven't encountered this yet, but I really want to attack into a Mazavith with this guy because that feels like it would be pretty great.
Nice.
It's like, why, yes, I will be removed from combat to draw a card.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think of Tribute so far? I'm pretty impressed, actually.
The little I've played with it so far, it's been fun.
So,
I think my favorite tribute card that I've played or that we've played is right there. The
Alex is. What are you vomiting over the
Disciple of Xenagos.
the fanatic of Xenagos?
yeah, that card is
Stop that.
so good. That is such a freaking amazing card.
The Fanatic of Xenagos, it's one red green for a 3/3 with trample, tribute 1. So either they put a +1/+1 counter on it, so it's a 4/4 with trample, or it gets +1/+1 till end of turn and gets haste.
Yeah.
So it's either a 4/4 with trample next turn,
Forever.
or a 4/4 with trample right now.
Yes.
But then
Then it goes back to 3/3.
but it's like, what kind of choice is that? It's like, do you want to die now or later?
Yeah,
It's exactly the same. That guy is just crazy.
I'm gonna say there's 3 that I've had a chance to play with that have impressed me all in different ways. Obviously, I don't need to sell you on how awesome Flame Wreathed Phoenix is. So let's just say that I had one and it was great. That's it's a 4/4 and it's either it's a 4 casting cost that is it is either a 5/5 flyer. Or it's a 3/3 flyer with haste that when it dies, you get it back in your hand.
Seems pretty good.
You can't. It's a mythic, so whatever. At uncommon, the Siren of the Fanged Coast.
Yeah,
I really, really dig that card. So it is a 1/1 flyer for 3 blue with tribute 3. So at worst, you're getting an Air Elemental, which is a 4/4 flyer, right? That is Air Elemental, yeah. I think so. Anyway, 4/4 flyer for 5 in blue. That's really good. If they don't pay tribute, you get their best creature, and maybe their creatures are crap, but you get their best creature because you gain control of target creature. Not until end of turn. Not as long as you control the Siren.
Yeah.
You just take the creature.
Yeah,
it's like an interesting sower, but
So my opponent, I cast this in a sealed event, and I don't think my opponent read it properly because he was like, no, I'm not paying tribute on that or whatever. I assume that he thought that it was till end of turn or that it was until I lose control of the Siren. But he didn't pay tribute, so I'm like, okay. So I took his tapped Sphinx's Disciple that had a Nyxborn Eidolon bestowed on it. So I was like, okay, I'll take your 4/5 flyer that whenever it untaps, I draw a card. I'm okay with that. And then my opponent shame scooped afterwards. So
It's like, oh.
really, really good. And
there's
then
a lot of wait, what does that card do?
yeah.
And then back at common, at least for the decks I like to play, I quite enjoy Snake of the Golden Grove. I think it's really good.
That card's...
it's just solid. It is.
It's either a 4/4 or a 4/4 with 4 life.
Yeah.
Or a 7/7.
Yeah. It's 4 and a green, and it's either a 7/7 or it's a 4/4, and you get to gain this life. And in the decks that I'm putting it in, which are fairly aggressive, red green decks, for example, the ones that I've played it in, it's really good as just a 5-mana thing. Because if you're beating down in this format, a 4/4 is fine. Like you're totally happy with a 4/4, and then you're also it's helping you win the race.
I've had a lot of fun with the red 5-drop. It's either 3/3 for 5.
Oh, the Faragax
and
giant?
they take 5 to the dome, or it's a 5/5.
Yeah, that seems fine too.
Yeah.
I think I've taken 5 to the dome off that every single time my opponents cast it. Mm-hmm. what else was there? There was a couple other cards. Okay, the the archetypes, of course, were a beating, but I guess we all sort of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that you can cast, like the green one's not really castable. The red one, actually, the red one doesn't make a huge difference. The white archetype that gives everything first strike,
that
and the
one.
blue archetype that gives everything flying, those are
The blue archetype is
busted.
Pretty much you just win if you cast it.
A black is very, very strong.
Yeah, the Death Touch one is also very.
It's just
very
really
strong.
expensive.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's what, 6 or 7 or something like that?
6, I think.
Um,
4 black.
Man, the one I'm a fan of is Herald of Torment has been doing a lot of good work in my deck.
Yep.
What's that one again?
He's basically what's it called?
He's 1/3/3, or
Yeah,
sorry,
he's-
he's
no,
1/3/3.
yeah.
1 black for a 3/3 flyer.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
and
you
then
lose life every turn.
Yeah, he's like a slightly
and
worse
then,
Ifrit.
Yeah, he's slightly worse than Serendib Ifrit, but he bestows for 3 black.
That's really
and
good.
I play Shadow Guys in my deck. So
Yeah.
it's just like, suit him up, boom.
Nullify has been really good.
Nullify's been really good.
I mean, hard counter, man.
Yeah.
What else did I like? I've been playing around with Mogus. I like Mogus a bunch.
Oh, Mogus
Mogus.
seems so cool.
Guys, I'm not happy to see.
There's
Yeah.
2 other cards I wanted to mention.
the-
I can't remember what they are, though.
Kind of just like a one-sided sulfuric vortex.
Oh, Pinnacle of Rage. 4
Great name.
Yeah, 4 red. It deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or players.
Damn.
Yep.
And there's so many things with 3 toughness that being able to be like on turn 6, just like I kill that and that is really good. Like it's a 2-for-1 on the card, right? I'm in a situation where I had the Pinnacle of Rage in hand, and my opponent cast an Ornithark, and I'm like, oh, Ornithark is so busted. Just as a reminder, Ornithark is 3 white for a 3/3 with flying and tribute 2, and if you don't pay the tribute, you get 2 1/1 bird tokens. So you get 5 power and toughness in the air, either on, do you want it all in one or spread out over 3 creatures? So I was like, all right, I spread it out over 3 creatures so I could untap and do 3 damage to the Ornithark and 3 to their dome. They still got the 2 birds out of it, but I was like, ugh. That's a situation where it's like, well, I guess I have to do this. As it happens, those birds killed me.
Damn you, bird.
Yeah, I lost that game, but at least I was able to kill the Ornithark right away.
All right. Elite Skirmisher. I like that card a lot in the Boros aggressive
Yeah,
deck.
he's just
super good. So
he's really straightforward.
2 and a white for a 3/1. He has Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, you may tap target creature.
So I was in a situation where my
He's really
opponent
good.
they'd like Voltroned up something. Like they played like a pretty weak creature, but got it to the point where it was a
Unstoppable killing machine.
Actually, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different game. It wasn't actually that bad of a creature. It was a Flame Speaker Adept. So it was a 2/3, and then they bestowed on it, and then they bestowed on it again. So it was a 4/6 with lifelink. And I was not in a position where I could block it, and they were winning the race off that. And I was in a situation where I'd be like, 2 turns running, actually, I used Mortal's Resolve, which is just a green combat trick, and a God's Willing, for no extra value other than casting it on my Elite Skirmisher to keep that thing tapped.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel good, but it won me the game.
It worked.
So, the Elite Skirmisher sometimes just has to get there. Oh, and speaking of tapping things.
That's the other card, which
Yeah.
is Sire Song Lyre. This card does not work in every deck.
No.
This card does not belong in a aggressive sort of white, your Boros aggressive deck. It's just too expensive. It has a home in mid-range decks, I think, but you're only really wanting to play this if your opponent is going the Voltron route. I think if you're fighting against a aggressive Boros deck, this card's not that good.
No.
I think if you're fighting against a mid-range deck that plays a bunch of creatures, it's still okay, but not great. This card shines when you are up against Voltron.
A reminder again, it's an artifact.
It's a 2-drop artifact that costs 2 to equip, and the creature it is equipped to is for 2, tap, and tap target creature.
Yeah.
This effect wasn't in Theros, and because of that, people got pretty trigger happy with the Voltroning up because there was no way to
tap a guy.
There was no way to tap them down, right? And even if you killed their Voltroned up guy, all of a sudden out spews like 2 or 3 bestow creatures, and now you have to deal with them. This card I've played twice now, and once it was just okay. The other time it was phenomenal because all my opponent was doing was Voltroning up, and in both games I managed to get this out there, and he had 3 creatures and an enchantment on this card. I don't even remember what it was. It didn't matter what the 5 cards that I was tapping down were, because I was tapping them down, and there was nothing that he could do about it. And it was so good. So I would say this is a must play in a control deck. And probably you're going to play this in a sort of a mid-rangey deck, providing you're in the right matchup for it.
It's
so good.
It's one of the cards that looked fine on paper, but until you actually see it resolve, even if it hasn't done anything, like it isn't until you're in the game state where you go, okay, I get this.
Yeah.
Which for me was when I've never cast this myself, but the Siren of the Silent Song.
Yep.
Which is 1 blue-black for a 2/1 flyer. With Inspired, whenever it untaps, you or your opponent, because I guess assuming you're controlling it, whenever it untaps, your opponent mills themselves for 1 and discards a card.
Yeah.
So good.
So my opponent cast that on turn 3, and before it had done anything, before it had attacked, done anything, I'm looking at it and I'm going, holy crap. I'm gonna lose just to that. Like, that is gonna wreck me, because I'm looking at my hand and it's like I have a grip full of good stuff, and I am not gonna have a chance to cast it because he's just gonna like smash me for 2 and then make me discard. And so I had to just snap off a kill spell on that thing like right away, or I'd be in a lot of trouble. And it wasn't until it was actually on the table against me that I was looking at the situation and going, oh crap, I'm in a lot of trouble against that.
My day 1 of the pre-release, I opened the blue-black Mill God.
Ooh.
And 2 of those guys.
Huh. Tell me you got there.
Oh, I got there. I went 3-1, and then just decided to split instead of fighting to the end. So I went 3-1-1.
Wow.
And at one point I had the God out and that guy, and just kind of like, so I don't get any cards the rest of the game, huh? And I was like, yeah. And I had that artifact that James was talking about, and this was the slowest. I mean, I'm a mill deck. Oh, Kathleen would have been so proud. I'm Deemer Mill, and I just overlooked that artifact. I was like, this seems pretty slow, but I missed all of Theros Limited because I was traveling.
Right.
So I never really experienced the Voltron. I was still afraid of Return to Ravnica, Boros, these swarms of little creatures beating me to death. So all of a sudden, I was like, no, why would I play that? And apparently I missed out. Maybe that was when I was going 5-0. That one loss could have been from that artifact.
Yeah. So I guess the takeaway is Born of the Gods Limited is just as much fun as Theros, and check it out. And I would recommend that you try the triple Born of the Gods queues on Magic Online until they go away on March 5th, because they're fun. And
make some spikes mad.
It's a chance to open a bunch of Born of the Gods rares.
I assume one of the reasons that they offer these is to get the cards out there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, just go play one and just experience it and try to live the dream with whatever it was.
Just
called?
open a Kiora and pay for your draft.
No, is it Loyal Pegasus? Is that what it is? Yeah, just live the dream and draft the 5 of Loyal Pegasus deck. And go turn.
Did you see that? Did you guys see that replay?
Yeah, there's been a couple people talking about
so
who can go turn 1 and then turn 2 more.
So the a viewer actually by the name of Stranjack, or at least a name that I recognize from our chats or from the chat room on Magic Online, and I know that he's a follower of our stuff, posted this video that got sent around of him and a friend facing, I believe it was Ari Lax from Star City Games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who went turn 1 Loyal Pegasus, which, as a reminder, is a 2/1 for 1 white that cannot attack or block by itself. So
he didn't fly too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he goes turn 1 Loyal Pegasus, turn 2 Loyal Pegasus, Loyal Pegasus.
Yeah. So turn 3 attack for 6.
Attack for 6. Turn 4 attack for 6. Like, he just rolled the guy, and then they're like, okay. Game 2, let's sideboard like this. Let's bring in like a Viper's Kiss and a Spark Jolt, and all right, let's run this back. And then he was just like, Pegasus.
What?
Smash. because everyone passed them, and he was just like, "I'll take every Pegasus," and just rocked it. It was a highly entered. I think it's the pinnacle of like, I'm not even mad. I'm just wow. I don't know how
you did that.
Yeah.
How, you know what? Fair play.
Wow. All right. So I mised pretty hard here, and I don't often have moments like this, but
All right.
so I sign up for the Born of the Gods League at YJ that they're having right
Okay.
now. So you get 2 packs of Born of the Gods, 4 packs of anything else, and I'm sitting down with another Highlander player. My packs are sitting in front of me unopened.
Wait, 4 packs of anything else?
No. 4 packs of Theros,
Okay.
2 packs of Born of the God, and then
Okay.
you play League
Right.
for a while, and it's over a couple weeks, and it's a lot of fun. YJ.
Why is it 4 and 2 and not just 3 and 3?
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to be 2, 2, and 2 eventually. Am I wrong? Is it 3 and 3? Am I crazy?
Well,
Well,
like
sealed,
normal
like
sealed
a,
format is
a
3 and
sealed
3.
is 3 and 3.
Maybe it is 3 and 3, and I'm just a crazy person.
I'm just gonna go with you were a crazy
Whatever.
person.
Okay.
Moving on.
Carry on.
Regardless, there are packs in front of me, and they're unopened, and I'm talking to Highlander, and I'm talking Highlander, and I'm talking Highlander, and it's been half an hour, and my buddy's just like, are we going to play or are we not going to play? Like, you haven't even opened your stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm only doing this because I want to get a Cura. Like, I really want to get a Cura for a Highlander deck and stuff like that. He's like, you're not going to get a Cura. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, lock eyes with him. I'm like, I'm going to open this pack and I'm just going to slam a Cura and I hope you're ready for it.
Oh, no.
And then, like,
no
without breaking eye contact, I just slam it. Don't even look at the rare. Just bam, throw it on the
Whoosh,
table. And it's a
it's Cura.
Cura.
You're like,
Nice.
what? Oh,
And-
it's that magic trick. that
And
people...
I wish I could have just like stood up and walked out, done something. But I just looked at him like, yeah, I have no idea how that happened. And I'm like, what are the chances?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, those blind flips are sometimes amazing.
And on that bombshell. That's wonderful. That's great to hear. That's why that's magic right there. Randomness.
That's why we all play.
Yeah.
To piss off our friends.
yeah.
Game of skill, no luck involved. Wizard always wins.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, thank you for that. That's wonderful. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week with more Tap Concede. Thank you guys both for joining us this week.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you for that, James. Awesome. Bye everybody.
So metal.